Yo, what's up, guys? I want to talk about Moses practicing black magic in the desert while he's lost. Bam, 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 bam. So, this is a debated thing in Christianity. It's not really considered hard historical fact, although I believe it. So, I was in my history class 2 weeks ago, and we're talking about Moses and the beginnings of many religions. And I asked my teacher, and I'm like, yo, what's up with Moses practicing black magic while he's lost? And she's like, that didn't happen. What are you talking about? And I was like, yes, it did. He forsaken God after he led them to the promised land. And she's like, no. And I'm like, all right. And so then I just pulled up a document talking about it. I read about it like a month or two ago, and I was like, what? But I personally think that this can be attributed to the beginning of nearly every esoteric order. Nearly all of them. Right. A lot of mystics, a lot of the Kabbalah is tied into this. And, I mean, here's the thing. I think that people can often be deceived spiritually, right? I think that Moses thought that this was godly stuff because at the time Christianity was ritualistic, right? You'd sacrifice the lamb, you'd say these specific words, all this stuff that was ritual, right? And then the coming of Christ made it so we don't have to do rituals. We're forgiven from our sins. Although to an extent we do have rituals, they're not really as ritualistic as they were, right? Like, yeah, we have rituals. You take the communion, right? You go to church on this specific day and say certain stuff in a song or something, but that's nothing like it was, obviously, in the Old Testament. I would think anyone that knows anything about Christianity would know that. So, what happened? Well, I think within this deception, right, and I think that the same thing happened to Abraham, same thing happened to Solomon. These people that are very spiritually knowledgeable don't have as much, it's almost like they don't have as much discernment. You know, it's like they're open to God, but then they don't know if this is a demon telling them this or if this is God. And I think that the demons would be trying very hard to get to them because they know that they have influence on the Christians and they could lead more people away. That's my opinion. That's my take on it. Right. It's kind of like, have you heard the saying, if the devil isn't after you, he already has you? It's kind of like that idea, right? These people are so connected with God that these antichrists are trying so hard to get to them. Anyways, so Moses wrote 2 books that people don't talk about, the 6th and the 7th books of Moses, right? And in them there's a bunch of magic practices. It's crazy stuff. A lot of sigils that you see everywhere. So what is a sigil? I think I've talked about this in another video. I'm not really sure. A sigil is a symbol that carries spiritual importance. For example, I would argue that the swastika is a sigil. The swastika was seen in many cultures that did not communicate, did not speak the same language, right? And so I think that that can be argued as the reason for it having a spiritual importance. These are all the cultures that had the swastika. I took this photo from my history class. It says, the swastika has been used for over 3,000 years. And they have a bunch of different representations, right? Sun, life, power, strength, good luck. So it was in China, England, Germany, India, Greece, and then it was also seen in Native America, in Mesoamerica, Japan, Muslim societies, everything, right? But people only talk about the Hindu meaning because they're like, they took it from the Hindus. Do they even use the Hindu form? Let me look. No, they didn't even use the Hindu form. It's just that people see it from Hinduism right now. Because, like, you walk outside. I remember going to my Indian friend's house in, like, 6th grade. And they have swastikas on their doorstep. And I'm like, yo, what is this? And then someone explained to me that it's just, like, it's part of their religion, whatever. Okay, cool. So the swastika can be said to be a sigil because A, it's had spiritual meaning to people for thousands of years. B, because it produces some sort of effect. If you walk into a room with a swastika on your arm, everyone will feel something. No one's going to feel apathetic about that, right? Same thing with the cross. People feel things from seeing a cross. Whether you disdain Christians or you are a Christian, you're going to feel something from it, right? These spiritually polarizing symbols. That's what a sigil is. Anyways, so in this book, he writes a bunch of sigils, spiritual seals, spell casts, all this nonsense. And let me say, guys, this is a grave sin to use these. This is sorcery on a high level, right? I would argue that using drugs is sorcery, but I think that's a lower level sorcery, depending on the drug, right? If you're using DMT, that's pretty high level sorcery. If you're smoking weed, that's fairly lower level. I mean, it depends, right? Even alcohol, I think, is sorcery to an extent. Anyways, this is a grave sin to do, right? Even the highest level black magicians have not been able to practice keeping themselves from the repercussions of this stuff, right? Aleister Crowley gets taken over at the end of his life. Literally writes his signature as Baphomet because that's how close he is to the demon. That's the problem with working with demons, that are obsessed with taking over your body, is they're going to do shit really well, yeah, but then you're fucking gone, bro. It's just taking over. That's what possession is, right? And you're not going to get possessed as a Christian, by the way, guys. That's like a whole thing. I'll talk about that in a different video. Anyways, these symbols are, a lot of it is planetary stuff, right? So he writes all these like seals and stuff, and a lot of it is planetary. So what's up with that? Well, if you saw my UFO phenomenon video, I said that space is the domain of Satan, right? Earth is as well, but I would say space especially is so. In it, I reference a Bible verse where the archangel must come fight a demon, preventing another angel from coming down to earth to talk to Daniel, I believe. Anyways, so why did you never hear about this loss of Moses in his religion? Well, I think that as Christians, we kind of try and bury this stuff, right? Like Solomon, for example, is heavily tied to Satanism and occultism. The Seal of Solomon, right? It's Solomon's Temple in Freemasonry, Harem and Abiff, all this stuff. We try and kind of keep it covered up, I think, because it also confuses people. Because when you tell someone that someone who is known for helping found Christianity, like Moses can be said to be the creator of Christianity in a sense, right? Because he got the Ten Commandments and all this stuff. And so to tell someone, yeah, he founded Christianity, but then also he did all this black magic, it's like, wait, what? What are you talking about, right? So they just try and keep it out, right? But it's happened many times, guys. Many times. I mean, even Abraham is said to be a pagan, right? I mean, I think that there's just an urgency for demons to get to these people, like I said. Anyways. And I don't think that you should follow this, guys. Again, interestingly enough, the Christian church practiced the Kabbalah, ancient Jewish mysticism, which is derived from these practices Moses did, right? I mean, Moses was Jewish. This is Jewish mysticism. This is literally like by definition. Anyways, they practiced the Kabbalah 1st through 3rd century AD, right? So like it was normal, and then they banned it from the church, and everyone stopped doing it. So it wasn't good to be doing, I would say, arguably. I think that there's a reason that it's not in the Bible. I think there's a reason that God says don't do this stuff that these other religions are doing. I really do. Anyways, so when I say that he's talking about these planetary angels, I would actually say that they're demons. He references an angel called Zafkiel. I really hate saying these names because I'm pretty paranoid and I think that this stuff will affect your life. I heard someone say once, I can't remember who, that he said the name, or maybe it was a girl, probably not. O, it's the Egyptian god O, and then it's like Siri, and it's like US. and that he had a horrible coming months, right? And I mean, think about it. The name of Yahweh carries a weight to it. It carries a power to it. If you're in a very bad place spiritually, and you just declare Yahweh, like physically, like if you're standing in a very demonic area, right? It's gonna alter the spiritual area, you know? It's gonna change things. So anyways, I believe that these carry weight. Back to what I was saying. In the book of Enoch, it writes about Azazel, who is said to have given the people weaponry and taught them astrology in exchange for being allowed to create giants through having sex with human women. Enoch is argued to be non-canonical by some. Who knows? Who really knows? I'll pull up the reference. In chapter 8, Enoch, and Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments for the use of antimony and beautifying the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones and coloring tinctures. And it talks, I'll just read it. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in their ways. By the way, the stuff about what's it called, astrology, isn't Azazel. I messed it up. That stuff comes from Kokabel, Ezekiel, Eriquil, Shamsiel, and Serial. So, anyways, so many pagan religions of antiquity have practiced star worship, right? This has been a trend. A bunch of cultures who never spoke, who never communicated, were worshiping the stars. Maybe they had different names, sure. Yeah, of course they didn't have the same names for this stuff. But, I mean, every different language is going to choose different names for stuff, like, obviously. I would argue that this stuff carries weight, though. And so, in Enoch, when it says these demons' names, Moses was writing the same names in his book, calling to them as angels. Although Enoch says that they're fallen angels, right? And also, this demon, Azazel, is tied to Saturn. He is said to be second or third in line to Satan. I think third, right? You can look into this stuff. It's very real. It's horrible stuff. Very crazy. So, I mean, it makes sense why they excluded it, right? He was led astray from God. And anyways, but I don't think it was just the rock thing, bro. I don't think that this stuff was written hundreds of years later. I think that this is genuinely from Moses. I think that this was him forsaking Christ, being removed. But everyone's good to formulate their own opinions. That's the thing, guys. Just read. Read for yourself, bro. Graphene oxide is very good for you. Fluorides. You know what I'm saying? Just read. Read for yourself. Figure this stuff out. Here's the thing. Everyone in the tops of these very satanic religions that rule the world writes that atheists are stupid. Like, what does Albert Pike say about atheists, guys? Literally, the founder of Freemasons, the forefather. What does he say about it? He doesn't call them stupid, for sure. Right? Anyways. So, what happened was Moses taught this to 90 people. 90 people kept teaching people. Through word of mouth, it eventually had gotten written down. And this became the Kabbalah, right? And esoteric principles were kept within esoteric societies. Did I explain what esotericism and exotericism are? I don't know. I'm just going to re-explain it really quick just in case I didn't. Esoteric means it's held for the select few. That's like, for example, esoteric things used to be astrology, numerology, right? That's considered esoteric. The practices of the Druids. The Druids are an esoteric society. Freemasons, right? All this stuff, the thing is, the internet made it so that I don't have to be in a cult to hear this stuff from an elder. I can just look it up now, right? I can just read Manly P. Hall and see, like, oh, the teachings of all ages, 700-page book. Cool, that's nice. Read it, guys. It's crazy stuff. Every single group of people has believed in a spiritual system influencing our world. Today, it's just different because people are taught scientific empiricism, which they're just lying to you. What happened to COVID? I thought that was deadly. Like, But the science is right, guys. Trust the science. Right. I mean, what does Noam Chomsky say about the science, guys? Every single thing that you hear is made to manufacture an opinion. All of your ideas that you have, all the concepts within society that you didn't get from an extremely external source, even a lot of the ones that you get from just deciding your own judgment and reading and stuff, is pushed with an agenda. So, in the modern day, I would argue everyone not believing in a spiritual system governing the world, and if they do, it's like what's it called? Like the fabric of the universe, shit, bro, why can't I think of this? The demiurge, all this fucking nonsense, right? When you get them away from religion, I would argue that this is for a reason, guys. I think that there are very few uncalculated results within our society. I think almost everything is planned, you know? Oh yeah, back to esotericism versus exotericism. Exotericism it's open for everyone, right? So like Christianity, Islam, anyone could join. Anyone could hear all the teachings and stuff, learn the ways, right? But so what happened was after Moses taught all these people this, it became the Kabbalah, ancient Jewish mysticism. I covered that already. And then after this, it gets carried into a billion different esoteric orders, Order of the Jesters, Skull and Bones, Knights Templar, all this stuff, and eventually all goes under the umbrella of Freemasonry today. And now there's other shit that goes behind the Freemasons. I did a second take on this video, guys, so I'm like a little confused on what I've already said, because I just feel like I did it for too long and it was too all over the place. At least this time it's the same length pretty much, but at least this time I like organized my thoughts a bit better. Because last time I was like, you know, which I still kind of am, but not as bad. Freemasonry is a cover for other groups. What it is, I could not say, to be honest. I honestly don't know like who could be behind that. But and it's not just Satanism, right? There's other shit. Who remembers when the Church of Satan was giving out vaccines? Isn't that what it was? I think something like that. Bro, I might be tripping. Let me look this up. Oh, I don't know what it was. I just remember reading something about COVID and the Satanic Temple in like 2020. I don't really remember what it was, to be honest. I completely blanked. But anyways, so I just think that the neglect the spiritual world within our existence is a little foolish. Even like, especially to be a scientific empiricism type person. We don't have proof. We don't have proof. What the fuck do you have proof of? Do you have proof of our elections? We literally have some fucking demented guy in office. And you have faith in that? Democracy! We voted! I voted, guys. And so many people are like, are you gonna vote? Who the fuck do you think I am? You think I'm voting? You think that these elections aren't pre-decided? That's insanity, bro. Fucking look at this shit. We literally haven't had a real president since JFK. I think I said that in my other video. We genuinely haven't. Not a single one of them is operating even semi out of their own beliefs and understanding. You know? It's ridiculousness. It really is. But yeah, guys. The symbols that Moses wrote have been seen in occult texts forever, bro. Forever. They've been seen. And Moses existed so long ago. Let me look this up. (1391 to 1271 BC). Like, And he has all these symbols that you still see today. If people didn't have any value for these things, if it wasn't real, it would not still exist. You know? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, he was led astray. Do not go like him. Don't do it. Even if you're not Christian, don't do it. There's a reason that this stuff is for a select few people. A, with great power comes great responsibility. Obviously, these people are responsible. They're raping children. B, you're going to get fucked. You're going to get fucked, bro. It never goes well. It really doesn't. I mean, it goes well in the short term, for sure. But you're messing with powers you don't understand when you do this shit. When you're using a Ouija board, you're messing with powers you don't understand. It's not just random. There's not magnets in that shit. I mean, there might be, actually. I have no clue. But, there's something behind this stuff, you know. If you're a scientific empiricism, why is it on a full moon that there are a billion more people rushed to the ER with gunshot wounds, so many more rape cases, everything's going crazy in the streets, people's behaviors and mind are altered? What's up with that? Is it just the moonlight? You think the moonlight has a psychological effect? Shut the fuck up. It's spiritual. We live in a spiritual world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not that there's werewolves, but like, it's real, guys. You have to look into ancient stories and myths to understand things, to understand true fact. You know what I'm saying? It's the greatest way to understand the world, because people have seen value in this stuff. Like Aesop's fables were written so long ago. So an unbelievably long time ago, and we can still read it today and attribute the stuff. Okay, this actually makes sense. Everything that comes from a really old time period has some sort of meaning to it, you know. If that was considered knowledge, then why wouldn't it be today? Because we have scientific facts. What the fuck? What the fuck are scientific facts? I got 2 COVID vaccines. I still got COVID. I still got sick. What the fuck is this? What do you mean we have scientific facts? Our scientific facts, the greatest science that we've ever engaged in was MK Ultra. That shit was crazy. And get this, that's actual spiritual science. Well, what is spiritual science? Occultism, obviously. But still, like, I think that those are the greatest discoveries. Not greatest in beneficial, they're the greatest in the amount that they change shit. You know, I should make a video on MK Ultra. Project Monarch. It's not good, guys. It's really bad. But it's also wiped from the internet. Debunked. This has been debunked. They burned 170 of the files from MK Ultra, never to be seen again. They exposed like 40 or 50, I don't know. But why isn't it in the news? Why isn't it in... I should just make a video about this. Why isn't it in the news? What the fuck good actual information do they put in the news? No, guys, we didn't rape children and do mind control. No, that didn't... MK Ultra isn't real, bro. What are you talking about? Just a few experience. Nah, we didn't give 9-year-olds mega doses of LSD. That didn't... Or veterans. None of that happened, guys. For real. What are you talking about? Come on. Get real. Get real. You playing. Yeah, guys, just read. Just read the books. The stuff that you're not supposed to know about, that actually would change your worldview, they keep it. You'll never find it. You will never find that shit in like a school book, you know. I never found India as a Christian nation in my history books. You know, there's certain shit that they hide for a reason. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for listening, guys. I know I've kind of gone on some big tangents here. Let me know what you think. That's it, guys.